Cancer. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. In Cancer, this is going to be a general reading for November 2024. And I want to welcome you to my channel if you're new. My channel is probably going to be about a year old in December. So newish channel, I guess. And if you're subscribed to my channel and you're coming back again, thank you so much for subscribing and supporting me. So what are we going to do today? In today's reading, we are going to be doing the Yellow Cardinal Cross. And it's a reading I've done before. I haven't done it in a while. It's one of my favorite readings, actually. And you can find it if you're interested in getting a personal reading. And in particular, this is one of the readings that are going to be offered for you. I will leave a link in my description box and also in the comment section below. And that'll take you to my website where you have about 6 or 7 readings you can choose from. Yeah, so we're going to get started. And I think I want to use the Ehrenberg Tarot, a new deck. And I'm also going to clarify that with the Tarot Vintage today. So we're going to look at, I'm going to start off with looking at position number 1 and 2. And position number 1 talks about what issue, situation, decision, pattern maybe that's showing up in your life that you're dealing with right now. And then number 2 will be a card that's going to be placed on top, and that's going to be what's clarifying or obscuring this issue that you're sitting with. And then in the third position on your right, I'm going to be looking at the conscious influence that it's something that you're very much aware of. And so it's going to be what's influencing this issue. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to be looking at the unconscious influence on this situation. And so that's going to be the area that's most impacting this situation, having the biggest influence. And because it's going to be coming from your unconscious, it's going to be coming from your shadow. And it's something that you're not aware of. And so we're going to be doing some shadow work in part 4. And if you're not familiar with the word shadow or shadow work, I've left you a really good link to a really good video. A really good link. I don't know if a link can be really good, but a really good video. And I've linked it below in my description box. And the video is called My 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And it's really a video about facing your own shadow. And it's something that I put together myself because I've been on this healing journey, facing my own shadow intensively for about 7.5 years with my own trauma coach. And so that video is taken off from my other channel called Carol Cares. And Carol Cares is a channel that has videos about that can help you with your healing journey, has videos about emotions and mental health struggles. And there's a lot of videos on there you can look at. I will also suggest a couple of those videos, maybe some playlists for you at the end of this reading. And they're really going to be specific to what's come up for your reading for you to heal, because this is a healing channel. And then in the 5th position, we're going to look at what is needed for a resolution here, right? So, and then once we determine that, we're going to look at number 6 as some guidance from the tarot, and then I'll give you my own guidance as well. And, you know, it's related to what I've gone through myself and how I've healed. So we're going to start off with pulling 2 cards right now. So if I can ask the tarot to give me 2 cards for, first of all, 1 card for the issue. Let's see if that comes out right now. Can I have 1 card for the issue that Cancer is dealing with right now? Well, it's giving me 2. So I'm going to take these as the issue and the clarifier here. So on top we have, I'm going to look at the bottom actually. So you have the Strength card. The Strength card comes out as your issue. And then the Hermit card in reverse is going to be the clarifier. And let me just put this in reverse here like this. Okay. So I only want 2 cards here because I'm going to be pulling out some clarifiers after. So the conscious influence right now. So what's consciously influencing this for Cancer here, for this issue? What's the conscious influence? That came out beautifully. Star in reverse. The star in the reverse. And what's the unconscious influence for these two cards? What's coming up from the shadow here for some healing? For sure. One card. The Four of Cups. And I'll lower that in a minute, I think. There. And on top I have what's needed for resolution. What's needed for resolution? You have the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles here. It's kind of a, I'm going to put it sideways here because that's exactly how it came out. And then finally, guidance from the tarot. I love these cards. They're beautiful, easy to shuffle. I'm not here to sell them or anything, but it's just like they're nice cards. All right, one card here for guidance of the tarot. You have the King of Pentacles in reverse. All right, so I hope that brought it into focus for you a bit. Let's, we'll take this tarot vintage right now, and we're going to ask for, I'm going to ask for a clarifier, one or two cards for this, these two middle cards right here, this issue that's coming up for Cancer right now. Hangman. Okay, I think that's good. And then we're going to try, going to do the conscious influence here, one or two cards, whatever comes out. You have the Chariot in reverse. And I'm going to ask for one more card for that. Oh, I ended up getting two. Star card, upright. So, you know, it's clarified by the star in an upright position. And the Page of Pentacles. All right, so let's clarify this Four of Cups right now. Two cards, please, for this. We have the Two of Swords in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. At top, probably one card. We'll see how many come out. What is needed for resolution? What's needed for resolution? Whoa, these three, four, all turned over at the end. So we'll go for it. The Magician, the Ace of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. All right, and finally, some guidance from the tarot. And so let's clarify the King of Pentacles. There's one, and I'm going to take those two. Those came flying out. The Knight of Swords in reverse. And you have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so it's another ace on the table. All right. So, I'm going to start off with the overriding energy. And the overriding energy for you is the Death card in reverse. Now, this particular card, I did a yearly reading for you in January 2024. And if you're interested in that, it's in my description box below. And in that reading, I pulled out 12 cards to represent one card for each month. And so in November, Cancer, you got the Death card in reverse. So what does this mean? And I will, be referring back to it during this reading because this is the overriding energy for you for this month. The Death card speaks about, if you look at this this skeletal figure right here in an upright position, walking through these what look like dead bodies. So there's things that are dead here that's trampling over. And the Death card represent those, to me, it's like a clearing away. There's things in your life that when it comes up in my reading, it's like there's things in your life that need to be cleared away, things that need to be let go. And oftentimes we are very much aware of what it is. So they could be things like old habits that we're sitting with, that rigidness, that stubbornness sometimes. It can even be things like maybe dropping certain masks, these masks that we've been putting on our life as we walk through society, what society tells us we're supposed to be. And it also can mean, letting go of some people, walking away from some people in your life that just aren't good for you. This just aren't, especially when you're on this healing journey, there are people that unfortunately you will walk away from and you will lose, and you just know that it was time to walk away, or maybe needing to, to step back from some people in your life. So there's a number of situations this could be. Now, the reason why this has to happen in your life is because the universe wants to bring you new things, and for new things to come in, there's old that has to clear out. And this is how this journey works. And it's unfortunate sometimes, but it's how it works. But what's happening here is it's in reverse. And so if a card is in reverse, it means for me that there's a big resistance to doing that. And maybe it's because there's some fear on your part of having to let these people go, having to let these things go in your life. And sometimes, we can really hold on to them. I'm not sure if we got the Four of Pentacles in here, but that really talks about, holding on to things. I don't see it, I don't think. But yeah, we'll see what it is, what has to let go here, what, has to be released. Sometimes it could be emotions, it's a letting go, it's a clearing away. Okay, so let's begin with the issue that's going on with you. And you have two cards here for the issue, and then what's clarifying or obscuring it. So you came up with the Strength card. And the Strength card in my readings talks about, oftentimes we think on this journey that we just can't do this work, and it's so tough and it's so hard, and you've been there before, and you just come up with so many blocks that, that just tell you that, you just can't do this work. And the Strength card comes in here. And it's interesting that it's an issue, but sometimes, when you think of the Hermit card comes next, so it's going to clarify it a bit. But the Strength card says, you have everything it takes in you to open up that Pandora's box and to start to look at, and feel what it is you need to heal, because we heal by feeling our emotions, by getting back into our body. And that's the tough work. And we just, as humans, we don't want to get back into our body, and we forget that we have this part of our body. We always stay up in our head, but this card says, you have what it takes, and you have what it takes to clarify. It says you have what it takes, but it's in reverse here. You have what it takes to go inwards. The Hermit card talks about going inwards, and it uses the word hermit because you need. This is a journey you take by yourself. Like, there's no one else, and I don't mean by yourself like you have to be totally alone. You can be. But it says that like there's no one else in this world that can hold your, I mean, that can do it for you. You can have certain, like, I mean, I have a therapist and I still have her and I've had her for 7.5 years. And yes, I hold her hand to a certain degree, but, you know, when I need her, I can email her all the time. But this kind of says, you know, this is a journey you take alone. And Hermit talks about going inwards and kind of, you know, almost like pushing that world away for now and just kind of taking some time off out for yourself and really go inwards. But I see here there's a resistance to it. So here's the Strength card saying, you know, you can do this. You can open up this Pandora's box. You have everything, you know, at your disposal. And the Hermit card says, you know, it's time to go inwards here. Here's the strength to go inwards, but it's in reverse here. So I see here there's some real fear, some real resistance on your part to wanting to go inwards and doing this work. And yet you've got this card here that says, you know, there's some clearing that needs to be done. And the Hanged Man comes out here as the next card, and the Hanged Man speaks about, you know, it's a major influence here on you. It's a universal force that's coming in that's saying, you know, you have this individual that's hanging upside down and is quite comfortable where they are. They're not struggling, and so the universe wants you to see something in a different perspective. And this is what this is. When you hang upside down, you know, I just think of when I see this card, sometimes I think of kids that do, you know, those headstands or cartwheels or whatever. And then they're kind of like they're amazed at, oh my God, things look funny upside down. Things look different, right? And this is what this card is saying, you know, the universe wants you to see that there's a different perspective on something here. There's a different perspective, but there's a real, and that's where the universe wants to get you, to this different perspective, wants to see things in a new way here. But there's some resistance on your part to going inwards. And so we're going to look at what is this resistance? You know, why are you so afraid to go inwards? Why are you afraid to maybe feel some of these emotions you need to feel? And why are you afraid to get back into your body so you can feel them? Because this is where all our emotions are, in our body. And so let's look at what the conscious influence is. Like, what are you aware of that's influencing this? When we start off with the healing card, which is the Star card. And the Star card in the deck comes right after the Tower card. And the Tower moment is that major, you know, change of circumstance in our life, this huge, you know, and I don't know if you've just gone through a big Tower moment, but you are aware at this point that you know that there's some healing that needs to be done. You're very much aware of that. You know, it's not something, I'm not telling you something new here, that you're aware of this. And, you know, I think too is, so there's healing that needs to be done. And the Chariot card comes right after the healing. I think for a while now, you have been trying to, in an upright position, the Chariot card talks about control. It talks about controlling these sphinxes, right, with his mind. And he's using his willpower and his willpower alone, you know. And I think for a long time, you have been trying to control the situation from your head, right? And when we're up in our head, that's where our ego wants us to stay, so we don't go below, right? We tend to forget about our body, and that's why we stay up there. And so I think for a long time you've been trying to control this, and I think it's time now, you know, you can't control it anymore. This is in reverse. It's like you've hit this wall. You've hit this wall where it's like, I can't control this anymore. It's almost like it's sometimes when there's it's time to heal, and we know that, and we just feel so much going on in our system and even in our minds where we can really spin. And then you get the healing card here, and this is going to tell me there's something here that needs to be healed. And you know, you started off with that, like it was in reverse here, so you're quite aware of it, but you don't want to go there. But here's what needs to be healed here. The universe give us this. The tarot says, well, you have this little this little page of pentacles that needs healing. And so who is the page in my deck? The page in my deck is your inner child. In fact, there are 4 pages in this deck, and so there's 4 inner children in this deck. And mainstream psychology likes to say, well, we just have one inner child. But I've been on this intensive healing journey myself, and I know that I have more than one inner child. And so you have a little page of pentacles that needs healing. And when our inner children need healing, there's some big emotions that they carry for us. And I know when I get in touch with my own inner children, I need to journal. I journal a lot. I journal to my inner parts, my inner children. And they tell me what's going on. They tell me why they're feeling this or why they're feeling that. And I know that. That's how I know what I'm feeling a lot of times, because they tell me. The Page of Pentacles is your body. And believe it or not, when you were about 4, 5, 6 years old, you were very grounded. All children are very, very grounded. I mean, if you look at them, they don't have all those ego masks that we put on, right? They act themselves until they're told not to act like that. And so there's a part of you, the Page of Pentacles, it's the part that, was grounded, that maybe needs to get grounded. And so there's definitely an inner child here that needs, first of all, that needs to be healed. And maybe you've done some inner child stuff. Maybe you're aware that you believe that you have inner children. I know some people kind of poo-poo that stuff, but you're probably not watching this channel if you're somebody like that. Because we do have inner children, and they speak to us, and we get in touch with them through our journaling. And so what's going on with you? What's coming up for healing here? What's influencing this? Obviously, there's a real call here for you to, I'm going to say, clear away some stuff. Start feeling some things. There's a real call for you to clear that away. Well, this is your unconscious, and this is what you're not aware of. This is the stuff you've put away. This is your childhood. This is your teenage years here, things that happened, and we're not aware of it because it's sitting in our unconscious. Well, you have the 4 cups here come up first, and it's very interesting because it explains exactly why there's a fear here. There's a resistance for you to go inwards. Well, you may have tried when you were younger to express some emotions. And I see here that there's this individual here, and I like this deck because it's kind of pinpointed some really important features about each card. And if you can see this individual who's crossed their arms here, I'm not feeling anymore. The 4 of Cups talks about an individual that has decided, I have 3 cups, and I'm going to cross my arms. It's that individual in the Rider-Waite deck sitting under that tree, right? And has decided that, I'm fine, thanks very much. I don't want to go any deeper. I don't want to touch these emotions anymore. And when you were young, that's exactly what happened to you. There was, because there's another, this is another cup on offer for you to go deeper, right now. But when you were younger, it was like you shut yourself off. No thanks. I don't want to go deeper. I don't want to feel anymore. Maybe you tried to get angry and you were told put that anger away in so many words, or maybe you were shown. You were told, you tried to cry and you showed your emotions because that's what we all are. We're human, right? We all have emotions and we're allowed to show them, but we get them all shut down. And so this is what happened to you when you were younger. For some reason, you learn that it wasn't safe to have emotions, and here you are again. Like, here's this individual with the 2 of Swords here in an upright position. This talks about this individual where they have crossed those 2 swords over their heart. Look at the hands here. And again, I mean, I can see the connection here where it's like both cards have this, right? This crossing over your heart of going, no more, I've been hurt. I'm not touching them, to the point where they have blindfolded themselves, not even willing to consider. I mean, they've shut down everything. Swords are about your mind and your mental thoughts, and they've just totally shut down. And here's all this water behind you. Water is, emotions are meant to flow in and out. no consideration whatsoever for this emotions in the background, right? You're just not doing it. And that's in reverse. And so there's a real fear here when you were younger to take off that blindfold and to feel these emotions. It's in reverse. There's a huge fear there to even touch them again. No thanks, I'm not doing it anymore. And that was a huge, the Wheel of Fortune comes in, and it's reversed. In an upright position, the Wheel of Fortune talks about a real huge change of circumstance here for you. And I'm wondering if something happened to you when we were younger, and that can change everything for you. Once you've shut down from your emotions, that wheel isn't going to turn anymore for you as far as emotions are concerned. It's almost like this wheel that turns here, in our heart chakra here, that can turn, and it can become stuck and jammed. And to get that moving again, to put that oil on there and, to start to get it to move again, well, it's really hard when it's buried in your unconscious. And that's what's exactly happening to you, where you're just, you're not willing. You have the strength cards coming in for you, but it's like, can't do it, no way. And so this is what needs healing right here. There's some real, a lot of times, we'll see what needs healing before I say anything here, but there's definitely, this is what needs healing, is this shutting down of emotions. And so what's needed for the resolution for you, Cancer? Well, we're going to start off with these two main cards that came in, and it's interesting. Let me just check here. We got the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so Queen of Swords comes out first. And then you have this Ace of Pentacles that couldn't decide if it was going to be upright or not, right? So it's almost, we'll talk about it in a minute, but so this Queen of Swords, the Queen represents the feminine aspect to ourselves. We have two aspects. We have a feminine side and we have a masculine side. It has nothing to do with gender. And this particular Queen, she has everything to do with the sword, everything to do with authenticity, who you are, getting back to who you are. And so what's needed for this resolution is for you to, get back into your body and to get in touch with that feminine side that knows who you are. That's all about your authenticity. And the feminine side also deals about emotions. And that's how we find out who we really are, is when we start to get in touch with our emotions and feeling those emotions, because that's going to clear away. That's going to clear away what needs to be cleared away right now for you. And then the Ace of Pentacles comes in. And the Ace of Pentacles is this offer from the universe. It's a gift. It's like it's coming in and it's a new start for you. It's saying, here's your body. I want to introduce you to your body. That's what the pentacle is. It's your body. And I know there's some hesitancy on your part to take it, right? It's kind of like a halfway point here. And, there is a new chance to get in your body, because, here's that little Ace of Pentacles, that Page of Pentacles right here, that inner child of yours that knew what it was like to be in their body. They knew what it was like to be authentic and real and have emotions, until they all got shut down right here, sitting in your unconscious with the Four of Cups and how you went, no thanks, and the Two of Swords, no thanks, I don't want that, thanks, I tried that before. And so the universe wants to say, well, this is the resolution. Let's get in touch with your feminine side. And we're going to get back into our body. Here's a chance here to get back into our body. And then you got 4 clarifiers here. So the Magician says, you have everything it takes inside of you. Everything in you is inside of you. And the Magician is the big manifester, can manifest anything. We hear that word nowadays about manifestation and manifesting anything we want. And, a lot of times, yeah, we can. But a lot of times we'll manifest the things that maybe aren't so good with us, because we're not grounded, and we haven't done a lot of our healing. And so this particular magician, if you notice, he has his rod up in the air and he acts like a lightning rod, and he's grounded. He's grounding what comes in. You see this vegetation here, these flowers. He's grounding what comes in from source above, God, creator, spirit, whatever you want to call it, the universe. And it's going to come in through him, and he's going to ground it into it, and then he can manifest, but he has to be grounded. And so and there's a big message here that's coming through for you. If you haven't heard, it's like body grounding, and this is what's coming through in the feminine side, you know. So it's really coming through here that you have everything in you, but you need to be grounded. And here's another ace. First you have the Ace of Pentacles, and now you have the Ace of Cups. And here's another offer for you. Another offer that says, listen, I know that you were very shut down when you were younger. People didn't allow you to experience your emotions. But it's time now, Cancer. Here's another offer here. Are you going to take it? Are you going to take this offer from the universe? And and then the Ten of Pentacles comes in, and Ten of Pentacles because this is a healing journey, the Ten of Pentacles, I really take a close look at this generational card here. You have generations on here, an older man and a son, and even have some kids here hanging around right here at the back. And then you have this formation here that's really, really important. And I think it's really important that anybody that, makes these tarot cards to make sure they have this formation, because that's what makes the Ten of Pentacles, is the shape of these pentacles right here. And this is what's called the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And the Kabbalistic Tree of Life is a tool. It's a life map that's used in the Jewish faith, Jewish tradition, where they study each of these nodes here are, studies, and they're trying to get back to their roots and where they came from. And so this card for me is very much a card about things that are handed down to us through generations. And in particular, it's because this is a healing channel, it's like what sort of trauma was handed down to you. And we all have trauma, every single one of us, on a continuum. And there are things that are handed down to you through your generations, and from your parents, your grandparents, and it was all handed down to us. And so it's I think here you need to, the tarot is saying, I think there needs to be some consideration on your part to start to look at, what sort of things were handed down to me. Maybe if you look at your caretakers and maybe your grandparents and that, what sort of things did they have to go through? Because if they had tough lives, it's guaranteed that they're going to hand you some other stuff, like things like shame we get from them. And some of the same things can happen to us that happen to them, right? It's just something that, it's generational trauma. And then right after comes this Five of Cups card that ends here. And so it explains a little bit more of what's needed here. I think there's a real focus on your part of this Three of Cups here, of what's been lost. And maybe there's been things that have been lost through your generations. What is it that's been lost because of generational trauma? And that's the stuff we have to look at, and that's the stuff we have to dig out of our unconscious. What sort of things were lost to you when you were younger because of generational trauma? And you could be sitting in some real depression here, or some hopelessness. That's something that comes out with this card right here. But it's about losses. It's about things that were lost, and definitely some grieving here that needs to be done. Especially if there's a page that comes out here. And then, so what advice does the tarot have for you to begin? This is what's most important, because I'm not going to tell you anything really that's magical that's going to cure this. This is a process. Healing journey is a process. And so, where can you begin? Well, first of all, you have to become aware of this King of Pentacles here that's come up for you. And the King of Pentacles in my deck, the kings in my deck, I talked about the queens. the queens being the feminine aspect of ourself, and the kings are the masculine aspect of ourself. They're our ego self. And we often, humans, all identify with the ego self as being their true self. But our true self, our true higher self, our adult self is who we really are, our authentic self, right? So there needs to be some awareness here about your ego self coming in kind of to take over here, because when it comes time to wanting to deal with these emotions that we need to deal with to clear them away, our ego self will kick in, and they'll come in and they'll say, don't bother with those emotions, don't you dare go near them. And it'll do everything in their power to try to distract you from going inwards. And I just noticed something. You have the King of Pentacles, and right behind it is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is the knight. My knights in my deck are called freedom fighters, and everybody has this part in them. It's like this real need to get back to this real need to have freedom, to get back to who you really are. All of us want to be who we really are, want to find out who we really are. We're all trying to figure out who we are, and we want to be authentic. I mean, deep down, that we have all these masks that we put on when we go into society, you know. Society makes us put on, but we really want to be authentic here. And whenever there's this ego self coming out and trying to block you from becoming authentic, and then you have this part of you saying, no, I want to be authentic, and you have this other part going, no, we're not going there, we're not touching those emotions, this can bring up a hell of a lot of anxiety. And so I'm seeing here that the guidance from the tarot is that, you know, there's some anxiety in here that needs healing, that's coming up, and I think you need to start to face this anxiety and start to figure out, and maybe you've been on this journey with anxiety forever, but I'm going to say something about anxiety right now. Anxiety is a block. It's a block to getting at these emotions. And like I said, there's this is what the block is, and this is why anxiety is so difficult to figure out what it is, because you've got two things coming at you. You've got two parts of you coming at you, and I know what anxiety is because I have it. You've got this ego self that's going, no, don't go there, and it's full of fear, and that's where that fear is coming on, that sits in our body with this anxiety. And then you got that other part that says, no, we're going there. I want to be authentic. I want to figure out, you know, what I want to go to these emotions. I want to know who I am with the sword here. And so it comes a point where you have to start to, you know, face that anxiety. And we have a tendency to, you know, some of us have to go on medication sometimes for it. And some of us will just try to avoid our triggers. So we'll try to run our whole life so that anxiety doesn't come up again. But it's time to face that anxiety, is what the universe is saying right here. And here's where it ends. Here you have like 3 aces on this table. Pentacles, Ace of Cups. And now you have this Ace of Swords. And I can't tell you how much this is a new beginning for you on offer. And this Death card is all about, here's the clearing of the old, letting go of things, and there's a resistance to doing it so that you can bring in the new. And the 3 aces want to bring in the new for you, Cancer. Here's the Ace of Swords. Your authentic self wants you to go in that direction of finding out who you are. And so I think what I'm going to leave you with is, I'm going to first, I'm going to suggest at the end a playlist on grounding, and I'm going to suggest another playlist on anxiety. I have some videos on that as well, and I'm going to leave you with some writing prompts so you can journal from your anxiety. So I'm going to give you some writing prompts for anxiety, and those are like the first line that would use when you start to write out about your anxiety so you can get to it. And I would suggest you do that when you're not anxious, because when you're anxious, when this anxiety is coming up, that's not when you're going to want to write from it. But if you do it when you're not anxious, that's going to help bring up, and some things that, maybe you need to, maybe your inner child here wants to tell you. All right, so this has been a great reading for you, Cancer. I want to remind you that, this is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care. Bye.